Hi friends, my name is Abhishek and you are watching YouTube channel Maths Magic. Today we are going to discuss about the topic number 1.4, that is revisiting irrational numbers. In the theory they have told you that what are real numbers. Real numbers are the addition of two sets. First set are rational number, the second set is irrational number. Rational number plus irrational number are called real numbers. In this section, then the three statements are given. We will go through each statement. In this section we will prove that root 2, root 3 and root 5 and in general root p is irrational where p is prime number. Here p is prime number. We will use fundamental theorem of arithmetic for proof. What is fundamental theorem of arithmetic? This fundamental theorem of arithmetic we already discussed in the previous video. It shows that any digit is given and we will find the root factors of that digit and the factors will be prime numbers. Then the last statement is recall a number s is called irrational if it can be written in the form p by q where p and q are integers and q is not equal to 0. Denominator will not be equal to 0. Some examples of irrational numbers with which you are already familiar are root 2, root 3, root 15, pi, minus root 2 by root 3, 0.10, 110, etc. Moving on to the theorem 1.3. What is theorem 1.3? The statement is let p be a prime number. If p divides a square, then p divides a, where a is positive integer. Then a is equal to p1, p2, pn. These are all the prime numbers or prime factors. p1, p2, pn are primes, not necessarily distinct. Distinct means different. They will not be different. They may be same also. A square is equal to p1, p2, pn into p1 into p2, pn. Then these both the brackets get multiplied. Then p1 square, p2 square, pn square. Now we are given that p divides a square. Thus, by fundamental theorem of arithmetic, it follows that p is one of the prime factors of a square. We realize that only prime factors of a square are p1, p2, pn. So, p is one of the p1, p2, pn. Now, since a is equal to p1, p2, pn, p divides a. We are now ready to give a proof that root 2 is irrational. This whole thing is given in our book, but it becomes complex to understand in this manner. So, I have done one very simple method so that you can understand it better way. What they have given here: a is equal to p1, p2, pn. Suppose we take the number 8 instead of a. A is equal to p1, p2, pn. So 8 is equal to, the factors of 8 are 2 into 2 into 2. Here 2 is prime number, 2 is prime number, 2 is prime number. They are not different. Here 2, 3, 4 is not, 2, 3, 5 is not there, but all are 2, 2, 2. All the numbers are prime numbers. Here 2, 2, 2 are primes. They are not distinct. Then they are given is a square is equal to p1, p2, pn into p1, p2, pn. So you are writing 8 square. Here a is 8, so 8 square is equal to 2 into 2 into 2 in first bracket, second bracket 2 into 2 into 2. Then squaring 2, that is 2 square into 2 square into 2 square. Now we are given that p divides a square. Here p is 2 and a is 8. Now we are given that 2 divides 8 square. So this becomes extremely simple. You can divide 64, that is the square of 8 square, by 2. It is possible? Yes, it is possible. Thus, by fundamental theorem of arithmetic, it follows that p is one of the prime factors of a square. Here p is 2 and a is 8. Thus, by fundamental theorem of arithmetic, it follows that 2 is one of the prime factors of 8 square. We realize that only prime factors of a square are p1, p2, pn. Here, we realize that only prime factors of 8 square are 2, 2, 2. So, p is one of the p1, p2, pn. So, 2 is one of 2, 2, 2. Yes, it is possible. 2 is one of the members of the family of the prime numbers, that is that we have obtained, that is 2 comma 2 comma 2. Now since A is equal to P1 P2 Pn, P divides A. Here we have taken A as 8 and P1 P2 up to Pn are 2 2 2. So 2 divides 8. Yes, it is possible. So now they have discussed about the irrationality of root 2. We are now ready to give a proof about root 2. Here also we can say that if this is possible, then we are now ready to give a proof of root 2. Moving on to the theorem 1.4, that is root 2 is irrational. What they have told you? Let us assume to the contrary that root 2 is rational. Here they have assumed that root 2 is rational. The form of rational number is r by s. Suppose r and s have a common factor other than 1. So r and s having other factor than 1. So we divide by the common factor to get root 2 is equal to a by b. A by b is also rational number form where a and b are co-prime. So they have only one factor common, that is 1. B root 2, b will go here, it will get multiplied. B root 2 is equal to a. Now squaring both sides, we are removing the root. So 2b square is equal to a square. So if 2 goes here, then a square can be divided by 2. Therefore 2 divides a square. Or we can, in simple terms, you can say that a square can be divided by 2. If we remove the square also, then also we can say that a can be divided by 2. Now by theorem 1.3, it follows that 2 divides a, or a is divided by 2. Here we will suppose that a is equal to 2c for some integer c. Putting a is equal to 2c in place, we will get 2b square is equal to 4c square. 2b square is equal to 4c square. Taking 2 common out from here and here, we will get b square is equal to 2c square. 2 will get cancelled. Therefore we will get b square is equal to 2c square. Therefore b square is divisible by 2 and b is also divisible by 2 by theorem 1.3. So here a and b have at least 2 as a common factor, but this is a contradiction to the fact that a and b have no common factors other than 1. In the starting point, we have discussed that root 2 is equal to a by b, where a and b are co-prime. Co-prime means a number has only one common factor, that is 1. Here root 2 is also common factor, but it is not possible. Therefore our assumption that root 2 is rational is false. That's why we conclude that root 2 is irrational. Thank you and have a nice day, my dear friends.